Grace Mugabe was probably one of the most popular first ladies in Africa and the world as a whole, being the wife of former Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe. She was best known for her extravagant lifestyle, which earned her the nickname Gucci Grace. She also had her fair share of controversies during the time she was the First Lady of Zimbabwe. This is the story of Grace Mugabe. July 23, 1965, Benoni, South Africa. Grace Murufu is born to migrant parents as the fourth of 5 children in the family. She moved back to Zimbabwe when she was 5 to live with her mother. Grace would get married to Air Force pilot Stanley Goraraza when she was 19, and they had a son called Russell. At this very same period, Grace got an opportunity to work for the president as his secretary. Mugabe was mesmerized by the beauty of her secretary, and it was not long enough till the president would shoot his shot. The two started having a private affair. They went on to have 2 kids. While Grace was still married to Stanley, and Mugabe was married to his Ghanaian wife Sally, who he had married in 1961. At this time, the First Lady was also battling a kidney disease, and she eventually died on January 27, 1992. When Sally died, Grace and Mugabe would take things to the next level as they made things official with a glamorous wedding, which was said to have cost large amounts of money and was attended by the likes of Nelson Mandela. When Grace Mugabe became the First Lady, she was rarely seen in public except for a few public appearances with her husband or doing some charity work. She was perceived as a very quiet and humble First Lady, but this was not until the media would unravel her private extravagant lifestyle and her European shopping sprees. The former First Lady is said to have spent $75,000 on luxury goods on a single shopping spree in Paris. It was believed she owned a ridiculous number of designer shoes and bags, to an extent that the media ended up calling her Gucci Grace, or the first shopper. The Daily Mail stated that at some point Grace bought 12 diamond rings, a $90,000 Rolex watch, 62 pairs of Ferragamo shoes in 1 year. When she was asked why she splurges on Ferragamo shoes, she said, "I have very narrow feet, so I wear only Ferragamo." Not only did Grace splurge on designer clothes, but she had quite a number of luxury properties to her name, including the $10 million, 25-bedroom blue roof mansion in Harare. In 2017, she purchased a $3 million mansion in South Africa. She also used to own a $7 million villa in Hong Kong, among other properties in Malaysia and Singapore. The Mugabe family also owned quite a number of farms in Zimbabwe. Grace is believed to have spent a whopping $3 million on her daughter Boner's wedding. The caterers are said to have been flown in from Singapore. To celebrate her 20th wedding anniversary, Grace Mugabe made yet another shocking splurge as she ordered a $1.3 million diamond ring. Besides her luxurious lifestyle, Grace Mugabe's reputation would be marred by controversies like when she was accused of having an affair with the former Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe Governor Gideon Gono, and she denied these allegations in an interview she did in 2013.
Were you having an affair with the governor?
Oh, please, oh no, please, it's not nice, it's not right. He's just, he's the governor of Reserve Bank of the country.
In 2017, she got in trouble for assaulting model Gabrielle Angels, who she found partying with her sons and allegedly hit her with an extension cord. The former First Lady was acquitted of the charges after receiving a diplomatic immunity from the South African government. It was pretty clear that Mugabe could not continue as the president of Zimbabwe due to his age and health condition. This meant that someone eventually had to take over. There were a lot of names being thrown around of potential successors of Mugabe, but not many really thought the First Lady would be one of those people aspiring to take over the reins. She was the least favorite compared to some favorites like former Vice President Joyce Mujuru and Emmerson Mnangagwa. These were the people she had to go against advanced for her to become the president. But before taking on the other potential successors, she had to first build her profile in the political arena. In 2014, she became the leader of the ZANU-PF Women's League, which was a key step in establishing herself within the ZANU-PF structures, as she automatically became a member of the Politburo. Thereafter, Grace would attain a controversial doctoral degree in sociology from the University of Zimbabwe 2 months after entering the program. After this, her next move would be to eliminate the former Vice President Joyce Mujuru, a potential threat to her ascension to power. The First Lady went on a smear campaign of Joyce Mujuru and accused her of being corrupt and causing divisions within the party. Eventually Mujuru was sacked by Mugabe. A potential successor of Mugabe had been eliminated, and it was time to focus on an even much bigger threat: Emmerson Mnangagwa. Around September 2017, tensions between the two factions within ZANU-PF would worsen. G40, which Grace was at the forefront of, and Mnangagwa's Lacoste. Grace began a wave of attacks aimed at Mnangagwa at the ZANU-PF rallies, accusing him of planning to overthrow Mugabe and causing disunity within the party.
Will stop it!
Mnangagwa would call out the First Lady in his speeches as well. Things were escalating between the two.
Dr. Grace Mugabe, stop it!
In August 2017, Mnangagwa was reportedly airlifted to South Africa after allegedly eating a poison ice cream at a ZANU-PF rally. Rumors would spread that it was part of a G40 plan to eliminate Mnangagwa. November 4, 2017, Grace Mugabe is booed while speaking at a rally in Bulawayo by some ZANU-PF youths who were alleged to have been part of the Lacoste faction. Mugabe addressed the issue at a rally that some youths were paid to boo the First Lady, and hinted a cabinet reshuffle.
To send persons here to boo the First Lady.
This was a warning to Mnangagwa, and it was a clear sign that his days were numbered. The First Lady would publicly state that she is the one who deserved to be the Vice President.
Post Mnangagwa is holding his hours and he knows we want it. That is why he's dividing the party.
Eventually, Mnangagwa was fired. He lost the Justice Ministry and the Vice President post. After his sacking, Mnangagwa escaped to South Africa as the tensions escalated and he feared for his life. At this point, things were going according to plan for Grace Mugabe. She was closer than ever to realizing her dream of becoming the leader of Zimbabwe. Little did she know that her days were numbered. 14 days after Mnangagwa was fired, the military under Chiwenga's command placed Mugabe under house arrest, triggering ZANU-PF and parliamentary processes that forced the then president into resignation. Grace Mugabe is said to have fled to Namibia when the coup took place. Mnangagwa returned to the country and he became the president of Zimbabwe, and this would mark the end of an era of the Mugabes in power. Grace Mugabe and 20 of her associates were expelled from ZANU-PF.